President Trump has vigorously defended somebody who's been with him since the campaign, essentially making the argument that members of Congress are trying to stifle Conway's free speech rights. Those on the other side say, wait a second, this isn't a matter of free speech. This is violating a law.
Haley, this is the law that goes back to the 1930s. It affects any federal employee. And the intent of this is that you not be able to conduct political activities, political business, using the resources paid for by taxpayers. So not using your federal office, not using your government phone, or in our modern era, the social media outlets, not talking about expressly political things on government property. For example, yesterday, the House Democrats had their meeting off Capitol Hill across the street at the DNC headquarters because they were going to talk about both government business and do some political work. So it is a standard thing in Washington that members of Congress and federal employees, this does not apply to a president, but federal employees cannot use their equipment that is paid for by the government or their office. So if she's on the driveway at the White House, if she's using her social media account, she can't engage in overtly political acts. It's also about not getting, for example, an aide in the office to work on a campaign, those kinds of things. So this is a longstanding federal law, and there are many instances that Democrats say, and as you pointed out, and IG pointed out as well, that they believe Kellyanne Conway has crossed that line.
We're listening now to Elijah Cummings. I believe, if I understand correctly, the clerk has read the roll, and I'm going to ask my producers. Yeah, I would imagine, of course, Kel. And I'm going to ask my producers if we have a final answer here. 25-16, yes. Unsurprising on that, Kelly O'Donnell. So it looks as though there will be a subpoena now issued to Kellyanne Conway to get in front of Congress and talk about these Hatch Act violations. Not necessarily a surprise, but still significant. Thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. Why don't you subscribe? It's really easy. Just click on that button down there. And for more news from MSNBC, click on any of these videos here for the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more videos from MSNBC with our newsletters. Head over to msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up.